Hey guys, welcome back to Finding My Star. In today's video, I'm going to share with you guys the 10 reasons I am one and done. And I know there's quite a few of you out there that are like, no! But yes, I am. I'm sorry. I can't do it. Anyway, I have my list of 10 reasons, and I'm going to try to make this video not insanely long, but it probably is going to be. But yeah, got 10 reasons why I'm one and done. Here we go. Number 1, the adoption process sucks. I don't know how else to put it. The adoption process sucks. If you have followed me, even just for Bulgaria, the adoption process sucks. Waiting sucks. Paperwork sucks. It all sucks so much. And if you have like a normal, happy adoption, good for you, but that's not my luck. And I cannot go through, I can't go through it again. It just isn't happening. Number 2, the cost of a second adoption. I just feel like would be way better used on Emrys. Not on stuff for her, but for experiences and travel and just in general using that money towards her and setting money up for the future for her and all that just would be so much better used than paying for another adoption. Number 3, the cost of raising a child in general. Having extra stuff, extra clothes, extra car seat, all that kind of extra stuff. Just is again, it takes away from Emrys. Stuff like traveling, the cost of having that child travel, the cost of saving money for when I'm gone for a second child. If I was adopting a second child, they would also most likely have Down syndrome or some sort of special need. So the cost of raising a second child with special needs is way more than I want to be spending, and I'd rather put that money towards Emrys and her future and long-term stuff for her. Number 4 is like a huge one. We would have to move. I live in a 2-bedroom condo. This is Emrys's room, and I have a master bedroom. And if a child fell in my lap, I would probably have the girls share a room, share my room, and then I would take over Emrys's room. But it's not very big. I can make it work. But otherwise, if I was to get a home study done, I don't think they would approve me living in the condo. And I also feel like my place is not big enough to raise 2 children. It just isn't. So we would have to move, and I don't want to move at all. I'm very happy in the condo, very happy with the building I live in, very happy with the neighborhood I live in, very happy with what the condo will cost when I eventually buy it from my landlord, very happy with all of that. Don't need to add extra stress of moving. Number 5, it is hard to have 2 children when you are single. It is hard to have 2 kids and a dog. I don't even know how I'm going to handle 1 kid and a dog. And it just takes away that time. The time you spend together, that one-on-one time. And not only that, like Emrys is going to require therapies, speech therapy, possibly feeding therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, plus doctor's appointments and all that. And then throwing a second child into that mix, regardless of if they have Down syndrome or not, they will have some sort of special need. So to have their therapies on top of Emrys's therapies, and if Taylor is still around, like that's a lot of work for one person. And it's just not something I want to deal with. I like to have my me time, and I'm hoping after Emrys is like a little bit more grown up, like 8, 9, 10 years old, I will reclaim some of that me time. Hopefully. And so for me, it matters more like that I have my sanity than to throw another child into the mix and start all over again and again not have that time and then try to divide my time between them and work. And I just want time. I want time to spend with Emrys, and I don't want to be dividing that with another child. Number 6, it is really hard to travel with 2 kids by yourself. Don't know how parents do it. I know parents do, but I think it is really hard. And I don't want it to be a situation where I have to bring another adult with me because I can't do it. Stuff like the airports and stuff like that. I don't anticipate Emrys being able to walk long distances, maybe possibly ever. So in a situation where I have a 10-year-old that's requiring a special needs stroller or something just to get through an airport, I don't want to have a second child on top of that. alone, if she has overstimulation issues when we're on the plane, or while we're traveling somewhere, we're on the cruise ship during one of their plays. I don't know how things are going to work post-COVID, but we're at the theater and she's starting to have a bit of overstimulation and a little bit of a meltdown. I don't want to have to worry about a second child. Or if that second child starts having a meltdown, I don't want to have to worry about Emrys. Like, just traveling in general is a lot easier when it's just you and a kid. And then my plan is in summers, so I'm a teacher, so I have July and August off, although August, kind of, sort of, I often do work in August. But my plan is that the first week in July we will go on a cruise, and then from the second week of July until maybe the second week of August, we will go camping. So about a month we will be gone. And Taylor will be with us. And so traveling even like that's a lot harder with two kids, because the trailer I want technically sleeps 3, but still that third child, it's not a very big trailer. And if it's raining or something like that, trying to deal with 2 kids, and if they have different things they want to do, you're trying to just, again, that dividing yourself up. And I just don't want to deal with it. And while I still have Taylor as well, Taylor is almost 6, right, puppy? You're almost 6? Yeah. So she is almost 6, but she is a small breed dog, and I'm hoping she's got like another 10 plus years in her. So while she is still around, it is, I think, a lot easier just to have her and Emrys than to have her, Emrys, and another child. I just don't think I can do it while traveling, even while just like camping. Number 7, I kind of touched on, but having my me time. I like having my me time, and it honestly is the thing that terrifies me the most about becoming a mom, and like losing myself and losing my identity. And instead of being like this human being with interests and hobbies and a life, I then become a mom, and I become just this like robot that takes care of this child. And I'm expecting the first couple years with Emrys being hard. We're working on attachment, we're working on her therapies, we're working on so much with her. And then by the time she kind of gets out of that stage and like is maybe toilet trained, is communicating better, is actually able to walk, and is like her own little person, and maybe can play by herself a little bit, I feel like by the time I get to that point, I won't want to add another child anyway, because I'll be very happy to have my me time, and very happy that I can maybe take a step back sometimes and let her play. Take a step back and just read by myself. Maybe take a nap by myself. Like, just like having that me time again, and not having a child glued to me at all times. I would like to say that eventually I would like to pee by myself, but Taylor won't let me pee by myself. Taylor won't let me sleep by myself. Usually, like right now, for instance, Taylor is out of the room, and last time she left the room, she destroyed her bed. So I don't have confidence that she's not getting into trouble. So I'm somewhat used to not being able to let her be unsupervised much. But I will be happy when Emrys is a little bit bigger and I'm able to have a little bit more of my me time back, because I value it so much, and I'm afraid I'm going to lose that and lose my identity when I become a mom. Number 8, no sibling fighting. This kind of goes with living in a smaller place, but just in general, don't have to deal with sibling fights. And I know a lot of you are going to be like, but it matters. They can fight with peers. I don't care. She can go and fight with a peer. She can have issues with sharing with peers. I don't care about that. I'll be happy not to deal with sibling fights, especially when like traveling, because guys, like me and my older brother travel really well. Me and my younger brother don't travel as much, but we tend to travel okay. But me and my older brother travel really, really well. We have similar interests. So when we travel together, it is like, oh, do you want to do this? Sure. And there's times where we don't want to do the same thing, but like we tend to cruise, so we tend to be like on the ship together, and if we want to do something differently, we can. But we tend to do the same stuff together when we travel. But with siblings, that's not a guarantee. So it's like, oh, Emrys wants to go do this, and child 2 wants to go do this, and trying to make both children happy, I don't want to deal with that. And having a sibling does not guarantee a good relationship. my second child would not be like, oh, I'm getting a second child so that way I have someone to take care of Emrys. That's not what having a second child is for. If you have a child with special needs and you have a second child just so that you have someone to take care of your child with special needs, your second child is going to resent you. My second child will most likely have special needs as well. So having a sibling does not guarantee a good relationship at all. I'm very fortunate that I have a great relationship with my older brother. Me and my younger brother, it's hit and miss. So having a sibling does not guarantee a good relationship. I actually know more people that have better relationships with their friends than their family members at all, where they don't talk to their family members at all. Their siblings they haven't spoken to in years. Like, there's so many people out there, so it's not a guarantee. And in terms of the socialization aspect of it, if you really want to learn a lot more about it, if you're like, hey, I'm considering being one and done, but I'm on the fence because of socialization, read the book One and Only. It has a ton of research in there that shows that children that are only children tend to actually have better social skills than those that have siblings. So being like, oh, your child is going to have social deficits because she's an only child, following the research and following the science, not actually true. Number 9, it is hard to find childcare sometimes. And I think by having one child, it's a lot easier, especially in like an emergency situation where it is like, I break my leg and I need someone to watch her. It's a lot easier to find childcare for one person than it is to find for 2 kids. Or in an emergency situation where, say, Emrys breaks her leg and I have to take her to the hospital, I'm not trying to deal with a second child or try to find someone to watch her while I take Emrys out. Just having that childcare stuff, and also when I am no longer on this planet, if that were to happen before Emrys was of an age that she could go into a situation where she could be taken care of, then now some person needs to take care of 2 children. So like right now, my parents have filled out documents to be my guardians for Emrys, but my parents are getting up in years. And I anticipate, unfortunately, them not being around by the time I would be in the process of adopting a second child anyway. Or if they were, they would definitely not be in good enough health to be guardians. So even right now, I'm at the point where I'm trying to figure out who would be Emrys's guardian, because it is really hard to find someone that, one, that I'm comfortable with, and 2, that would raise her the way I would want her to be raised, and 3, would be open to accepting a child with special needs, because that is a huge commitment for someone. And I asked my best friend, and like years ago, and she said, I don't know, and I kind of haven't raised it to her again. I think when Emrys is home for a little bit, I might ask her again, but I fully anticipate her saying no, because raising a child with special needs is a huge, huge commitment. So, to throw a second child with special needs in there, I think, again, it would be very hard to find someone that could raise your children after you're gone when you have multiple children with special needs, unless you have a family member directly that you feel comfortable with, which I don't. I don't have any sisters, and I don't feel comfortable with either of my brothers being, their financial status being what they are. I don't think they could ever raise my child. And they also don't share a lot of the parenting beliefs that I do and stuff like that. So I think it's just really hard to have that childcare, that emergency childcare if you're gone. But just finding childcare in general to find for 2 special needs kids, I think would be pretty much impossible. And last but not least is homeschooling. I would love, 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 love to homeschool Emrys. I don't know when this video is going to go up compared to other videos, but basically our schools, our government cut a ton of funding. And for our children with special needs, they have been screwed over badly. So I am keeping Emrys home for preschool, pre-K3, pre-K4, and kindergarten. And then I will reevaluate when she gets to grade 1. Based off of what funding's happening, what resources are available. But I highly anticipate things are going to get worse, not better. So we will most likely be homeschooling her. I say we because I'm hoping my mom will be here. And my mom will be my childcare provider, which I will be paying her, but she will also homeschool her, which will alleviate a little bit of pressure off of me because I can give my mom lesson plans to follow and stuff. But in a situation where my mom can't, and moving, like I was saying, moving as Emerus gets older, there's going to come a point where my mom couldn't anyway for health reasons. I would need childcare, and to be paying for childcare for 2 kids just so that way I can homeschool would be expensive. Our local day homes go up to age 12. So after that, I have to find an alternative solution. But even before then, it's costing money. The time it takes to homeschool, right now, I feel very comfortable with being able to work and homeschool because I feel like weekends and evenings, mornings, we can fit in a full homeschool schedule, no problem, especially because I plan on homeschooling year round. So I feel like very confident in my ability to homeschool her given our current situation. But you throw a second child in there, especially if there's a larger age gap, now trying to homeschool 2 different ages, 2 different grades, 2 different, who knows what Emerus will be capable of, so 2 different ability levels. It's just not something that I feel like I can do, and I don't want to sacrifice Emerus's education for a second child, because if the situation with our schools does not change currently, I do not believe putting her in public school is anywhere close to a good education for her. So there you have it, my 10 reasons I am one and done, not changing. Okay, I'm not going to say it's not going to change. 99% it is not changing. Magical, like lottery winning financial changes need to happen, and like pigs need to fly. So I am not going to say 100%, because if a baby was dropped on my lap, I don't think I could say no to it. But it is not something I am going to seek out. I am one and done. I am happy with that decision. Not 100% happy with that decision, but 99% happy with that decision. But I'm also coming from this before Emerus is home. I think once she's home and I have my baby finally, I'm not going to have baby fever because I have that fulfilled. And I think by the time she's out of that baby stage, which will probably take her a very long time, like by the time she's out of diapers, I'm going to be so happy to not have to change another diaper. So I'm not anticipating having baby fever anytime soon. And so I'm perfectly happy one and done, and it ain't happening for those 10 reasons. And Michelle, if you need to come back and watch this video to remind yourself of these reasons, do it, because it's so worth it to have just one child to focus on, one child to put your finances towards, one child to travel with, and just not have to deal with all that nonsense. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Let me know in the comments below if you are one and done, or if you had a second child. What was your reason for having a second child? Thank you so much, and I will see you guys later. Bye, guys.